All right. It looks like we are live. Hello, welcome to the Boss Attorney Bree channel. If you are new here, I am Boss Attorney Bree. I am a licensed attorney in California, and I practice business law, trademark law, copyright law, and a little bit of family law. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for joining the live stream. And as you can see for today, we are going to be talking under trademark law. But why? Because Fashion Nova has been sued again. And I'm saying again because these people that are suing them right now have already sued them before in about 2019. So just 2 to 3 years ago, they were already being sued by the same company. And as you can see from the title, it is the company Adidas. But before we go ahead and get into the lawsuit, I just kind of want to break down the companies for those of you who do not know who the companies are and what they might be suing over. So let's start off with Fashion Nova. For those of you who do not know who Fashion Nova is or what they do, they're basically what they call a fast fashion brand that puts out a bunch of clothing items, shoes, accessories, and things like that. It was mainly geared towards women, but now they have lines for men, and I think they also have some stuff for children too. A lot of people have been coming out with videos against them because they are a fast fashion brand, meaning that they pay very low wages to people in other countries, and then they produce cheap clothing and then sell it here for a cheaper rate than a lot of other companies usually sell for. So it's in for the BBL fashion, all of that good stuff. But one of the things that they are widely known for across social media is ripping off other brands, and particularly ripping off small brands, especially small Black businesses, stealing their designs and putting them out for a lower price when the original creator is charging a higher price, obviously, because they are a boutique and they need to make money, while Fashion Nova can actually mass produce anything and then go ahead and sell it at a cheaper rate. And that's why they're pretty popular. So, as I just said, they're known for ripping off other companies, but particularly small companies. However, the company suing them today is a really big company, international brand that a lot of people know and that have been around for way longer than Fashion Nova has even existed for. And that's going to be the Adidas brand. And for those of you that are into trademark law or into business law in any sort of way, you may know that Adidas is super serious about asserting their rights to their trademark. So they will file a lawsuit against you in a heartbeat if they think that you are even close to copying their trademarks. If you've watched some of my live streams in the past, you know that I've told you guys that you can't, or you can trademark more than just your brand name or your logo. You can actually trademark what's called the trade dress. You can trademark the product design, anything of that nature, as long as it's non-functional. The facility design, you can trademark the whole layout of your store. And so that's what Adidas usually go after, because most people aren't necessarily running around going, oh, I'm just going to name my company Adidas. Most people know not to do that. But what people do tend to copy on Adidas is their three stripe little trade dress. They put the three stripes on their pants, the three stripes on their shirt, the three stripes in their logo, and people tend to copy that. And this is what we have here with Fashion Nova and a bunch of other companies that Adidas have sued. If you know about Adidas, they are a pretty popular athletic apparel brand. They make t-shirts, shoes, workout clothes, anything of that nature, and they're suing Fashion Nova for particularly copying some shoes. Now, before we get into that, I just want to say, hey, to do what thou wilt. Thank you for joining the live stream. It's good to see you in the stream today. Let me know if you've heard about this lawsuit. And where you're watching from. And then, okay, so back to what I was saying about the lawsuit. Now, if you were here in the beginning of the stream, I mentioned that Adidas has already filed a lawsuit against them before. This was filed back in, I think, May 2019 for the stripe design that I was just talking about. So the 3 stripes down the side of the clothing. And I actually have that lawsuit. So let me just pull up what they were suing them about. I did not pull it up previously, but we're going to get into it right now. So just give me one moment to go ahead and pull that similar product up that they were suing, saying that it was similar. So going into my Adidas versus, okay. So let's see. Are we on the right one? I believe so. All right. So this, I believe, is Adidas, and then this is going to be Adidas some more, and then the Fashion Nova. Okay. So I didn't look at this before we got on the live stream today, guys. So let's see what they're talking about. So let me just go ahead and share my screen right now to show you what they have and what I mean by the 3 stripes as their trade dress. So here it is. This is Adidas. If you've known Adidas, they are known for this like 3 stripe style. And then as you can see down here, let me just make this a little bit bigger. They have the Adidas logo down here, Adidas logo right here, and then the Adidas logo over here from an angle that we can't really see. And then they also have it on other types of clothing. You see it here, 3 stripes, 3 stripes, and 3 stripes, even on their shoes. So they're saying that Fashion Nova actually copied this 3 stripe design, which is known as their trade dress. Infringing, are they calling it trade dress? I think so. Let me just double check and make sure I'm not saying it wrong. Trademark counterfeiting is what they're saying. So basically the style, what they're known for is the 3 stripes. So they're not necessarily calling it trade dress in this one, but that's basically what they mean. And so this is what Fashion Nova is actually doing. So they said this is 3 stripes, I guess white, gray, white, red, black, red. They kind of made it a little different just because they use different colors. But when you get down here, they are definitely using 3 stripes. Of course, they're thicker, but they're still the 3 stripe style. And I'm sorry, guys, I got a lot going on over here. All right. And then as you keep going down, they have more different styles with the 3 stripes. And that includes, as we can see, this one is pretty similar to this one down here. So this lawsuit, oh, they got more. Okay, and even the shoes, they're just continuing to copy the style. I don't know if they can really call this 3 stripes. It will look more like 2 stripes to me, and that the red is the stripe and then the white is not a stripe, but they're still using this as being infringing on Adidas trademark. And like I said, Adidas does not play about their trademark. So I am not sure what's going on here. Give me one second about my StreamYard is being weird over here on my end. So I'm just making sure that everything is properly running my streaming on my end. So it looks like everything is going correctly. So we're going to continue with what is going on. And let me just check my mic here too to make sure that you guys can still hear me. Okay, yeah, looks like my mic is still going, so everyone should be able to hear me. All right. So this is the lawsuit that they were suing for back in May 2019. This one is still going on. It's currently in the expert discovery phase right now. So they have an opportunity to kind of bring in experts to say whether this is similar or not similar, and whether they're actually copying or not copying, or if they came up with this on their own. However, the case that we are talking about today was filed about 2 days ago, 3 days ago, maybe. And it's for a shoe this time. So that's the case we're going to be diving deep into today. And as you can see, they sued over this design, which some of them do resemble the 3 stripe. Other ones, I could say you can argue those are actually 2 stripes, so they're just one color in the middle. Some of them are 2 stripes with 2 of the same color and then 1 of the other color. So that's going to definitely be an interesting argument for them to be able to make. But today we are talking about the copying of the shoes. So let me know if you guys have heard about this case. Like I said, it was only filed, I think, 2 days ago. I think it was filed on March 7th, but let me double check what date it was actually filed on. It's not printed here. They turned it in on March 3rd, but I think the case opened around March 7th. Like they actually filed it and everything then. All right. So we are going to go ahead and pop on over. If you guys are watching this on the live stream, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and comment below where you're watching from. As always, let me get rid of this banner. And if you're watching, make sure to like the video to help it out in the algorithm. All right, so let me pop back over to my comments. There is nothing being said there. So we are going to go ahead and hop right into the lawsuit to talk about why Adidas is suing Fashion Nova. Like I said earlier, Fashion Nova is known for copying other brands, specifically smaller brands, but today the big dogs, Adidas, is coming after them with the money to be able to fight them on this trademark infringement lawsuit that they are filing. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen to show you guys what's going on. And of course, let me make this bigger. I want to make sure everyone can see, and I am blind, so I make it real big for you guys. All right. So we have them filing in the district of the federal court in Oregon. And as we can see, it's Adidas America Inc. And their other company, let me get my highlighter out. Their other company is Adidas AG, a foreign entity. It's just Adidas organized in another country. And then, or it might be in America. I got to go back down to the parties to see where they're organized, but it's a foreign entity. And then we also have Fashion Nova Inc., who is the defendants on this case. They are being sued for unfair competition, unfair and deceptive trade practices, and trade dress infringement. And so we're going to go ahead and pop down to the introduction of this lawsuit because it's going to give us most of the details that they are suing for under this case. And I am just having trouble with my phone stand and showing me what's going on. Okay. So I think that is working. Okay. Yep, that's working now. All right. Moving on to the introduction of the complaint. It says, one of the most iconic shoes in history is the Adidas Stan Smith sneaker, which features a classic tennis shoe profile with white leather upper, 3 rows of perforations in the pattern of the famous 3-stripe mark, a defined stitching across the sides of the shoe enclosing the perforations, a raised mustache-shaped colored heel, which is often green, and a flat tonal white rubber sole as depicted below. So this is the shoe that they are alleging that they have trade dress rights to, and that they have, I don't know if they have a registered trademark for it or a registered trade dress mark for it, but this is what they're claiming is being infringed on by Fashion Nova. Moving on to point number 2. Recently, in the middle of a related trademark lawsuit over Fashion Nova's infringement of the 3-stripe mark, remember we were talking about the fact that they were copying the clothing with those 3 stripes I just showed to you guys. Fashion Nova intentionally knocked off the Stan Smith trade dress as shown below. And so as we can see, these are the 2 shoes together. We have this one, which is for Adidas, my lovely circling. And then this one is for Fashion Nova. Let's make it a different color. This is Fashion Nova shoe. And so just off top, I can see some of the similarities. It's a white shoe, obviously, with the green in the back. And then you have the perforations, is what they're calling them, which is basically just holes in the shoe to signify the lines that they're copying. But on this Fashion Nova shoe, they actually have 4 of them. And then with the actual Adidas shoe, they have 3 lines. And then their lines, it goes 1, 2, 3, 6 dots to 5 dots to 2 lines of 4 dots. And theirs go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 dots to 5 dots to 4 dots. So that's a little nuanced difference in them, but for the most part, it's most likely going to be seen as the same, honestly. So not much difference there. I do think they look alike. They went ahead and added this little gold chain here, I guess, to make it look a little different. And then they also added little gold circles. I don't know what you would call them, but for the shoestring holes, they're gold. They're actually gold, if you guys can see that. All right. And so then we're going to move on down to saying this is not the first time that the Stan Smith knockoff has been before this court. They're citing a case from 2016 involving Skechers USA. They stopped them from selling a similar shoe. And then this is Skechers shoe. And as you can see, their lines actually go a different way. It's 5 rows, so different than the 3. And then they have 4 dots going down each one, spacing changing. And I don't know if you guys can tell on this screen, but there's a little Skechers S right here, but it's also white. And they went ahead and put a green thingamabob in the back. The mustache lifted is what they called it, something of that nature. You can see a green back here and then Skechers right here. But the court actually found that it was going to be similar. So let me just read to you what the court ended up writing in regards to this Skechers shoe. In that case, the court held that Adidas was likely to succeed in establishing its right to enforce the unregistered Stan Smith trade dress, and also likely to succeed in showing that Skechers shoe infringed Adidas mark and trade dress. And then they just cite the case. Any reasonable observer could see the striking similarities between the Skechers Onyx and the Adidas Stan Smith. The same is true here. Any reasonable observer could see the striking similarities between the Stan Smith trade dress and Fashion Nova's knockoff. Indeed, in many ways, the Fashion Nova knockoff is even closer to the Stan Smith trade dress than the version Skechers sold 6 years ago. So as you can see, they are noting that it's pretty similar. This is Skechers. They actually have the lines going a different way. They still have the green. They have the Skechers mark. And the court still found that this was similar to this one. So it can only be assumed that the court is going to probably find that it is just as similar as well. All right. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. All right. Yeah. So it's likely that the court, and it is the same court that actually filed it in the District of Oregon Federal Court. And so they would basically be overturning their decision if they decide that this Fashion Nova shoe is not similar to the Stan Smith shoe by Adidas, but they found that this other Skechers shoe was similar. So it will be pretty counterproductive for them to say, you know what, it's really not that similar. Look, they added this gold and this gold chain. All of those things can be removed. The overall appearance of the shoe does look pretty similar to me. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's similar, or do you think it's it should be seen as dissimilar in that they're not infringing? If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and comment it below. And if you're watching on the live, go ahead and drop it in the chat box. Let me know if you think that it is similar. So we are going to move back on to the complaint and see what else they have to say. This is therefore an action at law and inequity for unfair competition arising under the Trademark Act, the Unfair and Deceptive Trade Practices Act of several states, and the common law. Among other relief, Adidas asked the court to A, permanently enjoin Fashion Nova from marketing or selling footwear using or bearing similarly or confusingly similar imitations of the Stan Smith trade dress, which basically means they want the court to say they have to stop selling these shoes or anything that looks like this shoe. And then option B, or the request B, award Adidas monetary damages to treble that award, which basically means to give them money for the fact that Fashion Nova copied them, have Fashion Nova pay them money. D, require Fashion Nova to disgorge all of its profits from its sale of the Stan Smith knockoff, which basically means that they want the court to make Fashion Nova pay them any money that they have or any profit that they have made off of selling this shoe. And D, award Adidas punitive damages, attorney's fees, and costs. So they also want the court to punish Fashion Nova and make an example out of them by requiring them to pay for Adidas attorney's fees and actually to pay them punitive damages, which are meant to punish the defendant and deter them and any other person or any other company from engaging in similar practices. And so, as we stated earlier, the parties to the case include AG, which is a joint stock company organized and existing under the laws of the Federal Republic of Germany. So this is a company that is organized, a foreign entity organized in another country. Sometimes the United States use foreign entities to describe companies that were formed in one state, but they also operated in another state. And in order to register in that state without canceling their company or making a new company, they just register as a foreign entity. So foreign entity can go a couple of different ways in America. And I just kind of wanted to make that note for those of you that don't know. And then we have the plaintiffs Adidas America Inc. And then we also have Fashion Nova Inc., which is a California company. And the reason why they are suing them in Oregon is because they're saying that Fashion Nova put themselves in Oregon in order to be sued there. And the reason why they have to inform the court of this is because if Fashion Nova never conducted business in Oregon, then venue and jurisdiction will not be proper in Oregon. So Adidas has to point out that, hey, Fashion Nova actually sells in Oregon. They purposely put themselves in Oregon. So it's right that they be sued in Oregon. And the reason why Adidas probably wants to sue in Oregon is because they live there and they don't want to have to travel to California in order to have court against Fashion Nova. And just to let you guys know, the other case that Adidas have against Fashion Nova is actually in the Oregon case, or in not the Oregon case, in the Oregon court. So it's very unlikely that they'll be able to say, hey, you don't have jurisdiction over me when they have jurisdiction over them in a case that is still ongoing. So they're probably not going to fight venue and jurisdiction on this case. So let me pop back over. And we are going to talk about the facts that Adidas is alleging in this complaint. This part is probably going to be a little faster than usual because they don't really allege all that much, honestly. And then when they talk about what Fashion Nova did, they're basically just alleging the rules that you have to satisfy in order to prove that they're an infringement. So we're probably going to actually skip that part. But for here, we're going to go ahead and go through the facts common to all claims for relief. And first, we're going to start off talking about Adidas' famous Stan Smith trade dress. Adidas is currently and for many years has been one of the leading manufacturers of athletic apparel, sportswear, footwear, and sporting equipment in the United States. In the early 1970s, Adidas created a new tennis shoe and named it Stan Smith in honor of acclaimed American tennis champion Stan Smith, who at the time was the number one tennis player in the world. Since its inception, the iconic Stan Smith shoe featured the distinctive Stan Smith trade dress, which leverages Adidas' famous three-stripe mark, but presented that mark in a unique and distinctive manner comprised of parallel rows of perforations. So again, highlighting the fact that they are not using their general three stripes where they visually show the three stripes, but they're doing it in a way that are just kind of dots on the shoe or holes in the shoe. Since introducing its Stan Smith trade dress 50 years ago, Adidas has spent millions of dollars promoting it, and the Stan Smith shoe is one of Adidas' best-selling shoes of all time, having sold more than 40 million pairs worldwide and millions of pairs in the United States. So the reason why they're pointing this out is to kind of show that they've put money into this brand and basically that they have established goodwill into this Stan Smith shoe, and that Fashion Nova should not be able to get away with just selling a knockoff version of it and making money off of it because it looks like Adidas shoe, which is why people sell knockoff items of anything, right? The Stan Smith trade dress is immediately and widely associated with Adidas, and it remains immensely popular among American footwear consumers. In 2014, for example, it was named Shoe of the Year. And then, as recently as February 21, 2022, a commenter observed all of the classic sneakers that have served the public over the past 4 to 5 decades, few silhouettes have proved to be as prominent as Stan Smith. So even though the shoe was created back in 1970, what Adidas is trying to show is that it's still a very popular shoe all the way up to 2022. So it's not like something that fell off and Fashion Nova is just recreating it. This is a shoe that is still being bought, still being paid for, and still being recognized by fashion bloggers, by people in fashion, and by people that recognize shoes. I don't know what you would call them, but this shoe is still being recognized, and it's not something that is like vintage and Fashion Nova is bringing it back. Adidas is still making this shoe and still selling this shoe. So they should be able to maintain that goodwill and not have Fashion Nova selling a cheap knockoff version of their shoe. So let's pop back into the facts of this case. From a cult favorite of universal appeal, Stan Smith, the man of and the shoe, now represents some of the richest and most inspiring moments in Adidas history. And there's no question that Stan Smith will continue to shape sneaker culture and the legacy of Adidas tomorrow. Again, this is a publication stating this about Adidas. So it's not Adidas just saying this for themselves. Adidas, a Stan Smith shoe, have been worn and popularized by a wide variety of athletes, musicians, artists, and other celebrities, including the Rolling Stones' David Bowie, and all of these people, including Pharrell Williams and Kanye West. Why the Adidas Stan Smith is the most important sneaker of all time, which is the article that was written, and the Stan Smith footwear has prominently featured on, or has been prominently featured on a popular American adult animation sitcom, American Dad, in late 2014. So again, they are establishing that this shoe is still very popular, and there are still music icons, athletes, and everyone still wearing this shoe. So again, it's not something vintage that Fashion Nova has brought back. They did not lose their rights to the trade dress because they have been continuously using the trade dress since its inception. And a little note to know about trademark law trade dress is that you have to have it in use. So you can't come out with it in 1970, stop producing it in 1980, and then in 2022 say, oh, well, now you're copying me. Adidas is trying to establish that they have been using this trade dress. They continue to use the trade dress, and Fashion Nova knows that they continue to use the trade dress. And not only that, but this particular trade dress is very popular. The style of the shoe is very popular. There are celebrities still shouting it out. So celebrities and blogs still shouting it out. So obviously it is something that should be protected by or for Adidas by the court. And then they go on to list several what they call unsolicited media coverage, including the following. And there's just kind of a bunch of headlines. So I'm going to read a few of them, but if you want to see this, you can get the complaint. But they're basically just headlines about the shoe. So one of them that they list is how the Adidas Stan Smith became a timeless shoe that makes for the perfect holiday gift. Another, and that was from November of 2021, trying to get their Christmas sales up, I guess. Then we have something from the wardrobe, from tennis staple to fashion favorite, the history of Stan Smith. That was in September 2021. We have Soulmate Stan Smith and the Adidas original Stan Smith. That was in April 2021. And they also continue to list all the way down to letter P, which I believe is 16 letters. 15, 16, 17, somewhere around that. So there was 17 publications from 2021 all the way down. They list to 2013 or 2012 was like their least or their oldest article that they listed here. So like I said, as you can see, this shoe is still being talked about and has been talked about over the years also showing continuous use, also showing that it should be protected for Adidas. For the results, extensive. Okay. As a result of Adidas' extensive use and promotion, its Stan Smith trade dress, Adidas has built up and now owns valuable goodwill that is symbolized by trade dress. The purchasing public has come to associate the Stan Smith trade dress with Adidas. Adidas Stan Smith trade dress is distinctive and achieves significant secondary meaning along, or let me gather my reading skills here. They have achieved significant secondary meaning long before Fashion Nova began its infringing conduct. Indeed, the Stan Smith trade dress is famous and has been widely heralded as one of the most important and well-known shoe designs in history. And so when they're talking about acquiring secondary meaning, that is important to establish trademark or trade dress or service mark protection. Because if it's something that you can call simple, let's say a white shoe with a flat bottom. We know there's a lot of designers that make shoes similar to this, but they may include different colors, but the style is not, it's not something that you've never seen before. What makes it their trade dress is those 3 dotted lines and the green on the back and all of the things that they listed at the beginning of this complaint. But if you wear shoes or you wear designer shoes, you will see that there are other shoes that are flat just like that and that are similarly shaped. Those are not necessarily infringing. So why they're saying that they acquired secondary meaning is to be like, okay, it's a normal shaped shoe, but the fact that we put all of those extra elements on it, those 3 dots and all the green on the back and all of those things, it has acquired distinctiveness. People know this style particularly as coming from Adidas, and that's something that you need to prove if it's something that could be, used by other people, but the way you're using it has acquired a secondary meaning, which usually requires it to be in use for 5 years to give a prima facie establishment that you have acquired a secondary meaning, or acquired distinctiveness is also what it's called. So they wanted to point out that they had this acquired distinctiveness back in probably 1975 or 1980s, and Fashion Nova just came out in the 2000s. So there's no way that they created this before Adidas did. So they wanted to point that out. Let me pop back over to the complaint. I hope that made sense because I just kind of went on a nerdy rant there, but I hope it makes sense. Okay. So back to the complaint, and it says the combination of elements comprising of the Stan Smith trade dress is non-functional and that it is not essential to the use or purpose of the shoe. It does not reduce the cost or improve the performance of the shoe, and its use by Adidas does not put competitors at any significant non-reputation related disadvantage. And the reason why they're pointing that out is because to prevent Fashion Nova from making the argument of, I need to be able to design the shoe like this because it's way cheaper to do it this way, and Adidas should not have a monopoly on doing it this way. But poking holes in your shoe, putting a green patch on the back of it, you're not likely going to be able to prove that this is functional use. It'll make it easier for the user to walk or anything of that nature. So that's the reason why they pointed that out. Indeed, competitors such as Fashion Nova have available a multitude of alternative sneaker designs they could use, and the only reason to mimic all elements of the iconic Stan Smith trade dress is to attempt to trade off its tremendous goodwill and siphon away sales from Adidas. So again, trying to show that the only reason why they're copying them is because they want the money. For Fashion Nova, a lot of the stuff that they try to copy or try to do is for style, and sometimes things that are popular are vintage things. So it would make sense that they come to a shoe that was created in the 1970s to try to bring it back into style under their cheap price tag. Okay, and so let's pop back over to the complaint. Let me know if you guys have any questions so far. Let me know if you think that this is trademark infringement so far, and we're going to get back into the complaint right now. Okay, so we're only going to go over a little bit of the Fashion Nova stuff here because, like I said earlier, they're basically just alleging all the elements of the law that you have to allege in order to qualify for these deceptive trade practices, unfair competition, all of those laws that they're suing under is basically what they allege here. They don't really, in my opinion, have too many facts to support what they have going on. So let me pop back over here and check some things out. All right, I have a little bit of internet stuff going on here. All right, let's come back to where I'm at. All right, so we are back in action. Let me, oh, I didn't. There we go. Now we're back in action. Okay, so Adidas filed a complaint to this court on May 10th of 2019, alleging that Fashion Nova was actively and intentionally infringing the three-stripe mark in connection with numerous items of apparel. If you were here at the beginning, this is what I showed you. This is the lawsuit that they have going on that was filed in May. This is Adidas stuff, Adidas stuff, Adidas stuff. And this is Fashion Nova stuff that they say are infringing on their trademark. Of course, we got the BBL models to look at. And these, some people don't have BBLs, I guess. Guess it's fitness wear. You don't need a BBL for fitness wear. But yeah, these are the things that Adidas is saying Fashion Nova is copying as far as their three-striped trade dresses going. So that's what they're talking about in this shoe lawsuit. All right, during the pendency of the 2019 action, Fashion Nova committed another egregious infringement. It began offering the Stan Smith knockoff, which imitates every element of the Stan Smith trade dress and has an overall appearance that is confusingly similar to the Stan Smith trade dress. A visual and element by element comparison appears below. Okay, like we said earlier, this is the comparison. These are them right next to each other. What do you guys think? Do you think it's similar? I would say yes, especially comparing it to the Skechers one that was found to be confusingly similar earlier in the case. If we have time, we'll go back to it. So yes, I would say they look pretty similar, other than this gold chain and these little gold things. The thing that gets me on this situation is that they decided to go ahead and make this shoe during a lawsuit that they already have with Adidas for the three stripes. So they say, you know what? We're not going to use three stripes this time. We're going to use four, and hopefully they don't notice. But Adidas does not play about their trademarks at all. They want to sue anyone that even comes close to copying them. And a lot of times that includes if you got four stripes or if you got five stripes, Adidas is probably coming after you because apparently they own stripes. If it is somewhere near two, if it's like 15 stripes or something of that nature, maybe they won't come after you. But we seen them come after Fashion Nova. Let me show it to you guys. They're coming after Fashion Nova for four stripes. They went after Skechers for five stripes on a similar styled shoe. Fashion Nova can probably argue that it's a little raised right here. It's not flat like the Adidas one. But at the end of the day, if you come anywhere near the design that Adidas has, they are coming after you, even if it's not three stripes. But I guess Fashion Nova thought they were funny and said, okay, well, we won't do three stripes this time. We'll do four. Now sue us. And so they sued them. All right. And then here we go into them kind of alleging all of the elements of the law. So I'm not even going to go over this. We're just going to kind of skip down to the causes of action because it's basically just repeating everything that they said here. All right. All right. And so here we go. We're on the first claim for relief. It is for federal unfair competition. And what they state is Fashion Nova use of confusingly similar imitations of the Stan Smith trade dress has caused and is likely to cause confusion, deception, and mistake by creating the false and misleading impression that Fashion Nova's goods are manufactured or distributed by Adidas or are affiliated, connected, or associated with Adidas or have the sponsorship, endorsement, or approval of Adidas. They're saying, no, you don't have nothing. Nothing, but they're trying to pretend like they do have the approval of Adidas. Fashion Nova has made false representations, false descriptions, and false designation of goods in violation of the Lanham Act. Fashion Nova activities have caused, and unless enjoined by this court, will continue to cause likelihood of confusion and deception of members of the trade and public, and additionally, injury to Adidas' goodwill and reputation as symbolized by Stan Smith trade dress, for which Adidas has no adequate remedy at law. And Fashion Nova's actions demonstrate an intentional, willful, and malicious intent to trade on the goodwill associated with Stan Smith and to the great and irreparable injury of Adidas. And the reason why they're saying that is because they want to make sure that they can get the punitive damages and the attorney's fees by showing that Fashion Nova's copying of this was intentional. They'll be more likely to be awarded punitive damages and attorney fees and increase the amount of those damages and attorney's fees. So that's why they want to say that Fashion Nova is doing this on purpose. And it doesn't really help Fashion Nova that they already have a lawsuit going on with Adidas that has not closed yet. So maybe Fashion Nova is hoping that they're going to win on the other one and then be able to prove this one away. I don't know. But for the most part, it doesn't look good that they already have a lawsuit open, which will probably be able to show just a little bit, even if it's just a little bit, that they did knowingly copy the Adidas shoe. Fashion Nova's conduct has caused and likely to continue causing substantial injury to the public and to Adidas. Adidas is entitled to injunctive relief and to recover Fashion Nova's profits, actual damages, enhanced profits, and damages, costs, and reasonable attorney's fees under the Lanham Act. So they're just saying they want all those monies, and importantly, for Fashion Nova to be precluded from selling these shoes, basically taking money out of Adidas' pockets is what they're saying. Second cause of action is for unfair and deceptive trade practices. Fashion Nova has been and is passing off its goods and those of Adidas, causing a likelihood of confusion or misunderstanding as to the source, sponsorship, or approval of Fashion Nova's goods, causing a likelihood of confusion to Fashion Nova's affiliation, connection, or association with Adidas, and otherwise damaging the public. Again, they're alleging these things to show that they have violated the law. Fashion Nova's conduct constitute unfair and deceptive acts or practices in course of business, trade, or commerce in violation of the unfair and deceptive trade practices of statutes of several states. And they list all the statutes of the states that Fashion Nova has been violated, or maybe not all of them, but some of them there. Fashion Nova's unauthorized use of confusingly similar imitations of the Stan Smith trade dress has caused and is likely to cause substantial injury to the public and to Adidas, and that's why they're going to ask for injunctive relief and also for monetary damages. Again, we're going to drop down into the third cause of action, common law trade dress infringement and unfair competition. Fashion Nova acts constitute common law trade dress infringement and unfair competition and have created and will continue to create, unless restrained by the court, a likelihood of confusion to the irreparable injury of Adidas. Adidas has no adequate remedy at law. On information and belief, Fashion Nova acted with full knowledge of Adidas' use of and rights to the Stan Smith trade dress and without regard to the likelihood of confusion to the public created by Fashion Nova. They're basically saying that Fashion Nova did not care that their shoe is so similar to Adidas that people might mistake them as Adidas, or they might mistake and think that Adidas actually approved Fashion Nova of using this shoe or this design of the shoe. So Adidas is not having it. I think they're tired of Fashion Nova, and that's why they sued them twice within the last 3 years. So if I was Fashion Nova, I would just cut it out. But like I said, as far as the clothing go, they may have a little bit of an argument just because they do use different colors. But I want to say sometimes Adidas use different colors on their stripes as well. So we'll see what the argument is if they go to trial. Like I said, right now, they are in the expert discovery phase, so we do not know. That case should be coming to a close soon. I can look up and see when the trial is scheduled for, when their expert discovery needs to be done. And we might be having a trial with Fashion Nova and Adidas coming here soon. And I think that it's important to note this just because Fashion Nova has been known for copying other creators of designs, but particularly they copy small brands, but now they have a big brand, Adidas, to go after them. But as we can see from this lawsuit, it looks like Fashion Nova just does not discriminate. They're going to copy whoever they want to copy in order to get their sales up. But the real problem that a lot of people have with Fashion Nova is the fact that they copy the small brands, but this big brand has the money to sue them and they are suing them. That's why they have sued them twice. So I would keep up with both of the cases just to kind of let you guys know what is going on there. All right, so here we are. And they basically just ask for the same thing: injunctions, money, attorney's fees, everything. And then we go into the prayer of relief, or prayer for relief, my bad. Prayer for relief. And they're basically asking for Fashion Nova and all its agents, representatives, and all other persons acting for, with, or through, under Fashion Nova, or in concert or participation with Fashion Nova, and each of them to be permanently enjoined from. And basically, this just means they want the court to order Fashion Nova or anybody associated with Fashion Nova and their designs to be stopped from doing any of these things: advertising, promoting, and offering to sell the knockoff shoes, using the Stan Smith trade dress or any other copy, reproduction, colorful imitation. Stop using the trademark or trade dress of the shoe. Stop them from using any trademark, trade dress, or logo design associated with Fashion Nova goods. So they just want them to stop copying them all together. And so stop passing off, palming off, or assisting in passing off or palming off of the Adidas trade dress or trademarks. Fashion Nova to be ordered to cease offering for sale, marketing, promoting, and selling, to remove from its retail stores, and to recall all products sold under bearing confusingly similar marks to the Stan Smith trade dress, and basically to stop all the shipments that they have put out. Fashion Nova to be ordered to deliver up for impoundment or for destruction all footwear, bags, boxes, labels, anything that resembles any of Adidas trademarks or any of their trade dress. They want Fashion Nova to deliver it to them so that Adidas can get rid of it and not have it sold anymore. Fashion Nova to be compelled to account to Adidas for any and all profits. They want that accounting because they want their coin. So they want the court to order Adidas to give them, or order Fashion Nova to give Adidas all of the accounting so they know exactly how much profit Fashion Nova has made off of these shoes. Adidas be awarded all damages caused by the acts of forming the basis of this complaint. They want them to pay their attorney's fees and any other costs that they incurred by having to sue Fashion Nova, based on Fashion Nova's knowing and intentional use of Stan Smith's trade dress and confusingly similar imitations of the Stan Smith trade dress. The damage award to be treble, and the award for Fashion Nova profits to be enhanced. So they basically want the court to increase the amount that they would normally be awarded due to Fashion Nova knowingly copying the trade dress and the trademarks. And so they will have to prove that Fashion Nova actually did know that they were copying the Adidas shoe. But Adidas kind of laid a foundation that how could they not know about this shoe? It's like almost exactly the same. So let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know if you do think it's that similar that someone couldn't come up with this idea without looking at Adidas to get the inspiration, because that's probably what Fashion Nova like to assert, that is an inspiration. But at the end of the day, it is very similar. I'll pull it up a little bit to show those of you that weren't here while we were talking about it earlier. But let's finish off the actual the prayer for relief, what they're basically asking the court to give them in order to settle this lawsuit. Okay, Fashion Nova to be required to pay Adidas costs for this action and Adidas reasonable attorney's fees based on Fashion Nova's willful and deliberate infringement and dilution of Adidas trademarks and dress, and to deter such conduct in the future, Adidas be awarded punitive damages. Again, punish Fashion Nova for copying Adidas. That's what they're asking for. But they want you they want them to be punished monetarily. So, yeah. Adidas to be awarded prejudgment and post-judgment interest on all monetary awards. They want the coin plus interest, and Adidas to have such other and further relief the court deems just. So if they missed out on any type of remedy that they could be offered under the lawsuit, they want the court to go ahead and award them just in case they forgot anything. And they're also demanding a jury trial for all claims and issues that are so triable. So they want the jury to actually decide the case. So I know there are a few people in here, so let me know what you guys think on the case. I'm going to go back up and show you guys what the shoe looks like just in case you missed it earlier. Let me know if you think that it is similar. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and comment below if you think it's similar. So here it is right here. We are showing, this is Adidas here. That's Adidas. And I know I changed the colors from earlier, but we're going to change it again. All right. And then this is Fashion Nova. Pink is Fashion Nova. Do you think that this is similar or no? Do you think Adidas is reaching here? Like I said, they do have this gold chain, which will probably fall off. So I don't think that could be that strong of an argument. And then these little gold shoelace holes. But again, it's very minimal compared to the actual design. Even the lines on the outside are the same shape, like literally the same. So, all right. And matching birthdays for happiness says no. No, you don't think they're the same, or no what? Do you think they're the same or not? And so I'm going to just scroll up while we get an answer from you there. And then let's see where they found similarities on the Skechers one. Okay, so this is the Skechers shoe that they sued Skechers back in 2016, and the court found that this shoe was actually similar to the Adidas shoe. Matching Birthday says it's not the same. And then on Sumana, I hope I said that right. It looks similar to me. It looks similar to me too. And especially based off of this 2016 case where this is Skechers right here that I'm showing. And they actually have the Skechers logo here. I don't know if you guys can see it. And then lines. They actually have 5 lines. And it has a similar curvature here. Let me see. Similar curvature here with the line. Let me erase that so you can see the line again. And then the 2 lines up at the front. So the court found that this shoe was actually similar to Adidas shoe. And they had to stop producing this Skechers shoe. Now, when we go up to Fashion Nova and Adidas, they to me are a little bit more similar than the Skechers shoe, because in Adidas, we have 6 dots going down, then 5 dots, then 4. It has this little curvature here, and then 2 lines right here. For Fashion Nova, they have the curvature. They have these 6 dots going here. They have 5 dots here, and then they do 2 lines of the 4. So the only difference here is that they added an extra line here, and then they added these little gold chain right here and gold right here. But I guess you can say that there's a little bit more of a, what do you call it? I don't know how do you describe shoes, but like there's more of an incline here because the heel kind of goes up here while Adidas stays majorly flat as compared to this one. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. And with trademark infringement, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. It can just be similar. But anyways, Adidas went ahead and sued them for that. And then they also sued them for some of the clothing that they have. I think that they have a better chance arguing the clothing, honestly, than the shoes. So I'm just pop back over to the clothing so that you guys can see. This is the clothing. This is Adidas clothes. As you can see, the 3 stripes and the Adidas mark on there. And then Adidas stuff as well. 3 stripes again on the shoes as well. But this one has more than, no, that's 3. Yeah, that's 3 stripes. Okay. But then this is what they're saying is confusingly similar of Fashion Nova's. I think this one is a little bit of a stronger argument that Fashion Nova would have versus the shoes. I think the shoes are very similar and they're going to have a hard time really proving that they are different. So let me know what you guys think about the clothes. And then we are almost done here. Yeah, so like I said, I think that with the clothes, they have a little bit of a better chance showing that it's confusingly similar. But with the shoes, in my opinion, I think that they will be able to show that they're similar, and Fashion Nova is going to end up having to pay and to stop producing it. I do still think it's really funny that they decided to produce this shoe while this clothing lawsuit is going on. It's like they're almost taunting Adidas to say, hey, we can do whatever we want. As we know, Fashion Nova is known for copying other people's designs, mostly smaller creators' designs, but now they're going after bigger creators, or not bigger creators, but bigger companies who can actually sue them for stealing their design rather than people just calling them out on social media. And it looks like Fashion Nova is not phased. They're going to continue to make things that are similar to other people. It doesn't seem like they really care. And then we have matching birthdays for happiness says right. Yes, I don't know exactly what you're saying right for, but yes, thank you for going ahead and leaving a comment in the chat. And thank you guys for joining the live stream. We are at the end of the live stream here. If there are any cases out there that you guys would like for me to cover, there was a lot going on this week, and I decided to choose this case out of all the cases that are going on. So if there are any cases that you would like for me to talk about, I'm probably going to ask a question in my community tab. So make sure you comment on there and let me know what you would like to see. And there was a copyright infringement lawsuit that came out against, I don't know how to say her name, Dua Lipa, for that Levitating song that was on TikTok. So I might cover that one next week. It might be a little late, but we might still go over that one if you guys had seen it before. So thank you for joining the live stream. I will see you in the next one. Remember, we are live every Tuesday and Thursday between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. if you have missed any of my other live streams. So I will see you guys on the next one.